Today, we're journeying way, way back to the dawn of humanity itself. We're going to uncover the story of Suiren-shi and the single tiny spark that would go on to ignite the flame of our entire civilization.
I want you to just try and imagine a world without fire. Seriously, picture it. For our ancient ancestors, this was reality. Nights weren't just dark, they were absolute, filled with the sounds of predators you couldn't see. Your food? Well, it was whatever you could find, and you ate it raw, cold, and it was probably crawling with things that would make you sick. It was a life lived in constant fear, constant cold.
You know, there's an old Chinese phrase that just nails this brutal existence, Ru Mao Yin Sui. It literally translates to eating the fur and drinking the blood. And that wasn't some kind of choice. It was just survival. But this kind of diet meant people were sick all the time and life was brutally short. Humanity was completely, utterly at the mercy of nature.
But then, something happens. A miracle. Imagine a lightning bolt cracking through the sky, hitting a tree, and suddenly, there's fire. For the first time, humans see this terrifying but beautiful power. It was like a gift from the heavens, a tiny flicker of light in an endless dark. They learned to capture these accidental fires, treasuring them for warmth, for light, and as a shield against the beasts that haunted the night. Think about what that really meant. An entire tribe, maybe dozens of people, might have only one source of fire. Just one precious flame that someone had to carry from miles away. It had to be guarded nonstop, day and night, people taking turns carefully feeding it small sticks just to keep it from dying. The entire community's survival depended on this one fragile little flame. Can you imagine the anxiety?
And then, of course, the worst happens. A moment of distraction, a sudden storm, or maybe you just run out of wood. The last ember fades, it hisses, and it's gone. The darkness just rushes back in, the cold bites at you. That protective circle of light has vanished, and your tribe is right back where it started, cold, afraid, and in despair.
It's in a moment just like that where our hero emerges, a wise leader, a sage named Suirenshi. He saw the fear in his people's eyes. He saw them suffering, and he just couldn't take it anymore. He vowed that he would find a new source of fire, not one that they had to hope for, but one that they could make themselves. He promised to bring back the light for good.
So Suirenshi set out all alone. His journey was this incredibly punishing quest into the great unknown. He crossed massive mountains, waded through powerful rivers, and pushed through forests no one had ever dared to explore. And he was driven by just one single burning hope, to find a way to master fire once and for all. Now, the legend says his travels took him to the very edge of the world, to this mystical, almost magical place called the Suiming Kingdom. There was no sun in this land, no moon, no stars. The only light came from a single, colossal tree, the Suimu, that pulsed with this strange, otherworldly glow. It was here, in this impossible place, that he was about to find his answer.
Completely exhausted from his travels, Suirenshi sat down to rest under the branches of this great Suimu tree. Everything was still, the light was constant, and it was right then, in that moment of quiet observation, that he saw something that would change the course of human history.
He's watching this large, unusual bird, one with a beak as hard as a rock. And it started pecking at the trunk of the divine tree, and with every single sharp strike, a brilliant shower of sparks just erupted from the wood. Peck, spark. Peck, spark. He realized the bird wasn't eating, it was striking the wood, and the wood itself held the secret to fire. And in that instant, everything clicked. It was like the first scientific experiment. He observed what was happening. He formed a hypothesis that fire wasn't some gift from the sky. It was a secret hidden inside the wood. So he started to experiment. He grabbed a small branch, then another, and started drilling one into the other. He tried and tried, his hands were raw, he was exhausted, and then he saw it. A tiny wisp of smoke, a little orange glow. He blew on it gently, and a small, miraculous flame flickered to life. The very first fire ever made by human hands. Suirenshi returned to his people, but he didn't just bring them a flame, he brought them knowledge. He taught them the secret, how to drill wood, how to summon warmth and light out of thin air. And the impact wasn't just big, it was everything. This was the true beginning of human civilization.
I mean, the transformation was just night and day, literally.
Before fire, you had raw food and sickness. After fire, you had cooked meals and better health. The terror of the night was replaced by the safety of a campfire, a place where people could gather, tell stories, and become a community. We were no longer just victims of nature. We now had a tool to start shaping our own world. Life got longer, it got healthier, and it got so much richer.
And here's the really wild part. This discovery didn't just change how we lived, it physically changed us. See, cooking our food unlocks way more calories and nutrients. All that extra energy had to go somewhere, and it went straight to our brains, allowing them to grow much, much larger. And since our food was easier to digest, our guts could get smaller, freeing up even more energy for our brains. Our jaws and teeth shrank, and because we spent less time just chewing raw meat all day, we had more time to think, to talk, to invent. Cooking, quite literally, made us who we are today.
So for this incredible gift, this massive leap forward for all of humanity, Suiren-shi was revered. He became a legend, known as the Fire Ancestor. He was honored as the very first of the 3 sovereigns, the legendary god kings who laid the foundation for Chinese civilization.
But of course, Suiren-shi's discovery was just the beginning. Let's be honest, drilling wood is hard work. So over the centuries, humanity kept searching for a better, easier spark. All of it built on the foundation that he created.
That original friction method eventually gave way to cooler tech. In ancient China, they invented something called the yangshi. It was a bronze mirror shaped just right to focus sunlight into a single burning point. Basically a solar-powered lighter. But what about cloudy days? For that, they perfected striking flint against steel, the shishi. This gave them a reliable, portable spark they could use whenever, wherever they needed it.
There's this beautiful line from a Tang Dynasty poet, Bai Jui, that I just love. It connects that fleeting, brilliant spark from a piece of flint to the precious and brief nature of our own lives. It just shows you how deeply this simple act of making fire was tied to the very soul of their culture. That tiny spark really was everything.
So, from one person's curious observation under a mythical tree came the single greatest technological revolution in human history. Suiren-shi's spark gave us more than just warmth and cooked food. It gave us time, community, bigger brains. It gave us the power to build the modern world. And it leaves you with a pretty big question, doesn't it? If one person's idea could ignite such a massive change, what are the sparks of our time? And who's going to be brave enough to fan them into flame?